Mr. Said, do you agree that your seniors do practice vote bank politics? That when they look at Ayodhya, they see how many votes will I get by taking a particular stand? That's the nature of our politics. That we've used the minorities in particular as a vote bank.
No, I disagree with that.
You disagree despite the fact of the Shilanyas, the various instances where the Congress also, whether it's Shah Banu, Shilanyas, you don't hold the Congress guilty of vote bank politics. Has the politics matured? India has matured. Has our politics matured?
You see, youth has always been the protagonist of reform, protest and revolution. You have talked just now about youth.
Yes.
So I am a youth member of parliament. I am a young member of parliament.
Will you?
So why are you talking about what is past, what is history?
Okay, so for you, Ayodhya is history. You want to look ahead, right?
I am not saying what is history, but what I am saying is, if any party is aggrieved by the adjudication order, the verdict that is given by the court, the aggrieved party has always an option to appeal to the apex court.
You're saying follow the judicial process
within the period of limitation.
Okay. Vimlendu,
because it is the judiciary which is educated.
Okay. Vimlendu, do you believe that there is an anti-politician, anti-religious leader mood among the young? And that somewhere tells the young today that look, this Ayodhya issue, they're cynical about their politics, and that cynicism extends to issues like Ayodhya.
See, there is cynicism that we have in young people, and more so because the way India has conducted itself in the last 20 years, and how politicians or how our religious leaders have conducted themselves in the last 20 years. Also, if you look at as in the way we talk about young people moving on or young India moving on, it would actually mean that young people or young India is actually putting all the other issues, in the sense the issue of the past, under the carpet. The problem is not the issue is not that we should not talk about it. In the past, when I used to teach, like we work with young people, and every time we talk about religion, every time we have to talk about Ayodhya, there is some kind of misfortune that we bring in, some kind of a different kind of a debate that we bring in.
So you're saying the young must confront the ghosts of the past and move on.
And that's right.
You must confront the ghosts of the past.
It's about the maturity of the young as much as it is the maturity of the politicians, because I don't want to give credit to politicians for this particular behavior of the country.
Okay, Gulpanal, some are suggesting that maybe you're utopian when you say, look, communal harmony is important, because while there's communal harmony, as we showed in an expose a couple of weeks ago, if you have a Muslim surname, it's difficult to get a house, for example, in Mumbai.
Absolutely.
So there is that part of India as well. So while we've been mature about Ayodhya verdict, religious identities still seem to matter. Religious antagonism still extend below the surface.
Well, I think religious antagonism exists, but I like to believe that the youth, which comprises majority of today's population, doesn't subscribe to that view. And fortunately or unfortunately, as the young member of parliament said, the youth does have a progressive outlook towards it, but the leaders are all clearly not belonging to the segment that they're supposed to represent. So there is, in my opinion, there is a huge mismatch between the electorate and those that are representing, at least from a generation point of view. So I can't expect somebody who's 65 years old to understand how I feel.
Yeah, but
and he clearly is not my representative.
He's clearly not your representative. Is there so you're saying there's a disconnect between what you think and what religious and political leaders feel?
I think our political leaders, majority of them are completely beyond us in a generation gap, Rajdeep, completely.
Okay, is it Ranveer Shaurya generation? I mean, I don't know how old you were when you were in 1992, but do you believe there's a generation? It's actually a generational change that we've seen in the last week 20. Here in this country. You were 20 then. Okay, so you were relatively young. So, and you're still relatively young, but do you believe there's a generational change that if 50 or 60% of India is under the age of 35, they were what? Hardly 16 or 17 when in 1992. And it's that generation which is in decision making, which wants to move on?
I agree. I think it's today's youth is pretty disconnected from that that kind of politics, or rather wants to disconnect itself from that kind of politics, because it recognizes the futility of the whole process. You can go on nitpicking about this, you can go on litigating about this for all time to come, until you are ready to actually talk to your how do I put it, your fellow citizens and your own people about what their needs are and how they feel. No relationship works really. I think I was watching TV.